My Hero Academia. This is My Hero Academia, chapter 358, The Guy Who's Made Some Progress. Last we left off, Endeavor was going ham and cheese sandwich on All for One. Just trouncing him up and down, beating his ass, and really finding himself in the process. So, good for Endeavor. But now we cut to something completely different. We're back at the big floating battlefield that was UA, where Shigaraki was being held by a handful of heroes, both pro and student, including two of the big three heroes. There's Sun Eater and there's Nejire. We also have Best Genius is there. The Blade Edge, I think, is Edge Shot is his name, is his hero name. He's also there. And they're all just, right now, doing their absolute best to avoid these weird finger and hand-like growths that are shooting.
It's not a quirk.
Yeah, it's
growth.
Yeah, it's just real gross. It's gross growth coming out of him and just trying to knock everybody off kilter.
But isn't it a quirk that's creating that growth?
I don't know.
Brian's not in his head. Nope. Definitely not.
Brian,
that's not the
is?
case.
Nope. I know.
It's like a side. I guess it's like a side effect of All for One.
Oh, I guess.
That's a quirk.
No, it's not a quirk. It's a effect on his body as a result of it. It's like a separate thing.
It's not like a quirk that he's actively using. It's more like the quirk acclimating to his body in one way or another. It's not the quirk activating. It's a quirk trying to instill itself within Shigaraki. I think. I think. I'm doing my best here, Josh. Don't give me that look. I didn't write the series. So back off. Get out of here. Anyway, they're all doing their best. They're all actually kind of avoiding it pretty well, not for nothing. Edge Shot does this cool thing where he weaves himself in and out of the growth. Oh my god, Brian just froze on the funniest frame of him imaginable. Okay, now he's back. Okay. Anyway, what are you eating?
Rice.
Nice.
You eating lamb over rice?
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Curry lamb over rice.
Curry lamb.
Oh, sure.
Curry lamb. Okay,
Anyway. Okay, so yeah, Edge Shot does a thing where he weaves himself in and out. He bursts out of it. It's pretty cool, to be honest. A pretty cool application of his ability.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, and he mentions that although these things are a massive threat, in exchange he's not as mobile as he would be after using it, because he's just kind of growing these things out. It can't really move otherwise. Shigaraki very calmly is just actually, it's pretty rad. This is just my body adapting to All for One and searching, groping around for an ideal form.
Groping.
Yeah, it's, yeesh. He said, "You gotta be gross all the time, dude." But yeah, he's basically talking about how once this thing really fuses with my body, I'll be able to make the world that I really want, to where everybody is equal underneath the exploited class. We'll all be equal. We'll all be just having a shitty life together.
That's how you want everything to be equal, Shigaraki? Come on,
No,
man.
I feel like this is All for One's influence here.
No, I mean, whatever it is.
I think Shigaraki always wanted that to be the case. If anything, he's developed a little bit more to say that at least it'll be in a society. Before, he didn't care what it was. He just wanted everything to be destroyed. Now he's like, no, we'll all be equal. Just in the shittiest way.
Yeah.
Except for me, I'll be the king. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, man, why can't we just rise up together? Own small businesses here and really show the upper class what's what. But Shigaraki's not down for that. He wants us all to be poor and hungry.
Oh, yeah.
At all times. Anyway, Bakugo is just running through and he hears all this shit and he's like, man, ever since Kamino, all you did was fucking talk, dude.
That's true.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm sick of hearing it. He starts to whip out this cool thing that the support class made him. After that, he feels like he's accumulated enough sweat from running around and all that stuff. and he reveals the suppressive heavy mobile unit Strafe Panzer.
Whoa.
Pretty cool, pretty edge.
Pretty edge.
So, yeah, it is actually pretty cool. This is a dope panel. I mean, draws the shit out of everything, this guy. But yeah, Bakugo goes in with his usual aggro attitude. I hope you're ready to be Swiss cheese. And he just like unleashes these explosive bullets everywhere. That's, I guess, his sweat that he's just shooting into the crowd and exploding simultaneously.
Yeah, that is his quirk, right?
Yeah, the explosions come from the nitroglycerin that's apparently in his sweat. Nitroglycerin. But yeah, he's just like, we got to destroy his real body. And he starts to think, we have Monoma using his erasure. We have Kaminari's team powering the arena. Yaoyuruzu is replacing the ground that we stand on, creating materials that to prevent the battlefield from getting too broken.
Yep, and that's going to be her role.
Yeah.
That's going to be her thing.
Yeah.
Brian loves it.
Brian's a huge fan of this.
Dude, not everybody has to fucking fight, bro.
No.
Not
You know that,
everyone.
right?
Let's quote that from Brian. Not everyone has to fight. Brian Morbin Time Espinal. Okay.
You really want everybody? You want Mineta to have
Every
like a main
fucking body,
series?
yes, Brian. I want every fucking body to throw a hand and develop and learn. And
You do know that
and
there's
have some
support.
type of resolution.
You know
No.
there's a support.
I don't know
hero,
what
right?
that is.
Support heroes. You know those exist.
I just want every series to be tournament fights and development. That's it. You
Yaoyuruzu is
will
literally-
realize this, Brian. You will understand this.
Yaoyuruzu is literally
You
the
and everybody
penultimate-
listening.
She's literally the penultimate fucking support hero. She literally is built. She's made to be a support hero. She's not supposed to be a fucking frontline fighter. That's not her thing.
Says who?
Says everything about her, bro. What are you talking about? Says who?
I think you're
Every
sexist.
single
I think
time-
because she's a female, right?
Mm.
You think she can't be out there fighting.
That's a pretty heavy
that's
allegation
it,
to whip on him. It's pretty
Yeah,
heavy.
You know, you know what? You're right.
Brian,
Yeah.
I'm
I'm sitting here. I'm
Kishimoto
like,
now.
why is Mirko out there, bro? This is bullshit.
Just to show
Out there kicking
any
things.
ass,
Come on now.
nigga. And to give a tokenism towards handicapped people. I don't know. I kind of freestyled with
What
the
are you
last
on
one.
about right now? You're literally
Damn.
you're on overdrive today.
It's the coffee.
It's because I got a double shot.
Yeah, it's the coffee.
I fucked up. I fucked up. That's why I finished
Tyler.
rolling this weed so I can relax.
Yeah. Damn, dude. Well,
So anyway, Bakugo was doing this really cool thing.
Yeah,
That's
he is doing a
definitely
really
going to
cool
matter in the next chapter.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
yeah, Bakugo gets set to totally defeat Shigaraki right now, right here. We're all being silly.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah,
No.
Brian.
I genuinely think this is a cool moment for Bakugo, where he acknowledges that, hey, why do you want everybody's life to suck, dude? We're all trying to have a better life here,
Hey, weirdo. Don't you try to squeeze politics into the things I love. For that, you're going to get blown back, you gummy socialist.
Yeah,
Is that what's going on?
I guess so,
That
but
was-
I wouldn't call
Is that what Shigaraki's supposed to be? Is he supposed to be the stand-in for socialism and Bakugo's the grand defender of free market capitalism?
I don't think so. I don't think that's what it is.
Neoliberal? No? Is that
No.
what's... Let's leave the politics out of this.
Yeah. We're getting a little lost in the weeds here. So, yeah, okay, so Bakugo does this cool explosion thingy, talking about how, everybody's just trying to push forward to improve the lives of everybody out here, and you're just salty because nobody saved you back in the day, but we're trying to change that about society. We're trying to move forward. We're trying to make a better society going forward, and you're bugging right now, so I'm going to blow you up. Bang, bang, bang.
Like, get over just being poor. Just get over it.
No, he wasn't
I
poor.
know,
To be fair, Shigaraki wasn't poor.
I know.
He was a child orphan after he killed his entire family.
That's true. No, his family was decidedly middle class, actually. So
Yeah.
he was in a very comfortable position until he destroyed his entire family.
Yeah, that's what happens. Anyway,
Yeah.
the chapter ends with a big clash between Shigaraki and Bakugo. Big splash page where he's using his cool howitzer impact cluster. And that's the end of the chapter. Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
That was the end of the chapter? You're right.
Yeah.
All right. So
Short chapter.
I'm going to start off by saying I was wrong. I was wrong. Okay? Because I said the next time we see these people, they would all be dead or maimed.
Yeah.
With Shigaraki standing over them all, with maybe like one hero remaining or something like that. But nope, they're putting up a valiant fight. And even though I do not think Bakugo will defeat Shigaraki, I think he's going to at least mildly perturb him enough to the point that he may unlock a new form and make things a little bit more difficult for Midoriya to deal with. Because Bakugo can't help himself, but make things tougher for Midoriya. One way or another. With all that said, I mean, this is the follow-up chapter to Endeavor going fucking crazy.
Going sicko mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Brian said, sicko mode. So, it was kind of a hard thing to follow up. And y'all already know I had a super jaded perspective of this Shigaraki fight. That is just it's glorified filler. You know what I mean? But for what it's worth, it's a lot of cool action happening. I mean, the characters that are shown that are actually fighting, they're in really cool action shots, doing cool stuff. I mean, Miracle is the only one that's just kind of moving, but she only has one foot, so I'm not gonna get mad about that. It was an okay chapter.
Yeah.
It was a cool reveal for Bakugo. Shigaraki's talking crazy shit. I guess he's mad. I really do understand that he's mad. And he's still really young, so it makes sense that he's speaking the way he does. I wish with All For One, I wish he would be framed in such a way that, like, I'm going to post this as more of a question to you guys, and I guess to anybody else listening, y'all can leave in the comments or via email, but, what is All For One's, like, goal? To rule the world? That's what he wants to do? Right? Like, but he wants Quirk Society to take over and have the strongest people survive, but what? It's so weird. It's so, like Shigaraki and him have two different goals in mind.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
well,
Shigaraki just wants to
kind of the point
because he's mad. And All For One is he wants to steal all the quirks, so he just wants to create the whole quirk world where people do whatever they want.
I don't think we really know his real intentions yet.
Yeah, I think like All For One in particular is still kind of shrouded in mystery. We don't really know that much about him. In the same sense that I guess we don't know much about Blackbeard from One Piece. We just don't know what drives him.
I get.
We don't know what Blackbeard's past is. We don't know what drives him necessarily. We really don't even know what he is planning. I don't even know if Blackbeard is necessarily ultra interested in the One Piece. But I think it's the same with All For One, where we don't know his specific goal yet. I think that's going to be revealed in a later point, probably when and if he takes over Shigaraki's body entirely, and Deku has to fight him.
We still haven't even seen his face. Like, we still haven't seen what he looked like before the injuries.
Yeah. That being said, Shigaraki's goal is a little more clear because he and the other League of Villains are really just trying to tackle different specific systemic issues within their hero society. Whether that be the discrimination, the weird family dynamics that are born from making people career heroes, the weird, just various discriminations against like people's quirks if they're particularly, I guess, sinister in nature. Because we've seen that with Shinso, even that people assume that he's going to be a bad person because his ability is mind control, and we see that in a greater sense with Toga, where people just automatically kind of assume that she was like this crazy monster.
She was a crazy monster, but they didn't. Society.
They didn't do her any favors.
They didn't help her in the way she should have been. They just, they marginalized her and othered her.
Exactly.
And called her a psycho and didn't try to actually provide any help or try to understand her.
Exactly.
You can't really help somebody if you don't have that empathy and try to understand where they're coming from.
Yeah. So Shigaraki's.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah. So Shigaraki's goals are a little more clear. I think like Shigaraki is more advocating for the people who fall through the cracks of hero society, seeing as how he was never really rescued. He didn't really get an opportunity to be saved, and was greatly ignored after like his big traumatic moment. I think that's what he's fighting against, and they're all going about it in the wrong ways, obviously, with murder and
right.
All
bad
these
guys.
things.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
But these are all people who are on the fringe and are just like trying to create a radical shock to the society that they live in. All for One's objectives seem a little more just plain evil, mustache twirly right now. But
yeah, just like I just want things to be bad.
That being said,
where Shigaraki kind of wants things to be bad, but because of what he's gone through, All for One is just kind of
I'm gonna say this.
That being said, it's because of that being said, it's because of a lack of information that Horikoshi hasn't shared yet. But it's there.
I think All for One is more like a force of nature as opposed to a villain. I think he's like the person who wants the quirk singularity to happen because that's natural. That's the natural course of things. He wants things to be as natural as possible. And what's natural? Survival of the fittest, a world where the strongest survive, and he wants to be the strongest of them all.
It's funny.
So I think he's just a very primal villain. He just wants things to be bare bones without all this cushion.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, if I may interject for a moment, just for what it's worth, that's not how the world is run. The world isn't naturally run by strongest of the fittest. It's whoever's the most fortunate.
Yeah. And
not just humans. I mean, animals too, because the natural advantages that an animal gets in one area isn't going to be the same if they go to, maybe 200 miles up north to another area. You feel me?
Yeah.
So their species was fortunate for their biology to work out for them in that area where they didn't have much and you see the same thing in humans. So I'm not saying that you definitely believe that. I just think that that's definitely a fallacy that we all need to call out when people like say it that way, because it's just not the case.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that's what All Might thinks. That's what All
right.
is saying.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I guess in that sense, then he's more similar to Kenjaku than anything, because that's what Kenjaku's. That's what he's doing with the culling game. He's just like trying to advance the evolution of his society, so to speak. In Jujutsu Sorcerers, we see, I guess that's the same thing that All for One really wants, is to continue that progress, or to force the continuation of that progress in one way or another. But, interesting stuff to talk about. We were just going off of what Josh had his question to us, but were those all your thoughts, Josh?
That's pretty much all my thoughts. I didn't have much more else to say outside of jokes and stuff. So, Brian, you have any thoughts?
I like this chapter mainly because we got to see more Bakugo. I'm a big Bakugo simp. I love Bakugo. Bakugo is a very interesting character because they don't say it, they don't directly say it, but they play him up like he's next in line, like he's the guy that's he's more ahead of of Midoriya in some aspects of heroism, you know, like when it comes to skill, when it comes to like battle prowess and all that stuff. Like Bakugo is probably the most talented out of all the students.
Time out.
So he knows what it's true.
Time out. So listen, that was the case prior to Midoriya being the greatest thing that ever happened on this planet of My Hero Academia.
Yeah, that
It's over. Bakugo, like once Midoriya started flying around and pulling out special moves, it was over for Bakugo being better than him.
I mean, not necessarily.
Bakugo hasn't been stronger than him for like 3 years.
It's not about being stronger. It's about, you know, how you go about situations. And I think Bakugo is still the more skilled character. Like he's the more skilled hero. Given what he has and how he works with it, just because Midoriya has all this versatility and shit doesn't mean that he's better in any case. Obviously Bakugo's not going to beat Shigaraki here. Of course not. I'm not saying that. Because Midoriya is more powerful. But Bakugo has shown that he is extremely intelligent and he's naturally gifted at this shit. Like they made it a point several times that Bakugo is up there with Midoriya, and I feel like that's not going to change anytime soon. Bakugo always finds his way to stay in the picture whenever something's going wrong or whenever something's happening. Like they've shown that he's very similar to Deku in his selflessness now. And I feel like he is what Endeavor could have been instead of what he became. You know, he's somebody who's driven, but not to an extent that it's terrible. That it's not that it's affecting others negatively anymore. Like he learned that lesson pretty early, and I feel like if Endeavor was like that, he could have been better than how he was. But now he has that opportunity to be better than that. And I really think Bakugo has a lot of potential in this little sequence here before Deku shows up to be like a big player in this fight. I really think out of every character in the series that we could overlook, Bakugo should not be one of them that we overlook at all. Like, cause the series favors him a lot. In growth, in like how they've shown him his development over the series. Like this guy, he's the real deal. Like I honestly think like he could be the number one before Deku. That's how much they've kind of played into him. So, I'm really excited to see what more they do with him. Obviously, you know, the students always take a little bit of a backseat in these fights just because, you know, it's a little more grounded in realism. Just a little bit, because it's like, you know, My Hero Academia likes to be like more reasonable when it comes to this stuff. They don't like to just have the kids come in and take over all the time because they're just kids at the end of the day, you know? And they're not the pros. They're not the guys who have been here in the front line.
Right, and they want to be realistic, you know?
It's about, I'm not saying realistic. I'm saying there's a bit more realism in how a situation would go. I think if Naruto was a little bit more like this, it would have been better because the kids in Naruto just show up and they do everything. But in Bakugo, in My Hero Academia, the kids show up and they still have much to learn, even though they're arguably more powerful than these guys.
Yeah,
like
the Naruto comparison is not necessarily true, especially in Shippuden. I feel like people do a lot less in Shippuden than it did in.
I was gonna say that, honestly, the way I see it, like, if it's because of the pacing of My Hero Academia, is that I already accept that we're not going to get that development. Like, had it been like this early in the series with My Hero Academia, where a lot of the adults got a whole bunch of shine, and we got to see like a lot of the grown heroes fleshed out, like 1 through 10, but we didn't. You know, we only really got big introductions from like the top 3 heroes. You know, and so with that in mind, you're like, okay, at least I could look forward to the kids. But now it's this weird. That's why I feel like even though it does make more sense for the kids to take a little bit more of a backseat, it's like I don't care at this point if it makes sense or not. The series is ending with that's it. You
I
know,
don't think the series is ending.
I just
I
wanna
said
see-
my piece on that one. I highly doubt. Like, maybe I've always said that this section of the series is over, but the series is not over. Like, there's still going to be more My Hero Academia, whether you believe it or not. The series is just too open ended to be restricted to this version of it. You know. Sure, it would have been nice to see more of them growing as kids and stuff like that, to be heroes and stuff. There could have been more patience, but series is not ending. Like, there will be more My Hero, whether it be beyond Academia or whatever. You know, that's just what we got to figure out when it comes to it. But to kind of cap off all my thoughts, though, I do believe Bakugo, that we're going to see more of him. And it looks like they're playing into the more like split personality versions of Shigaraki, because like when Shigaraki is talking here, this is not the Shigaraki we really know. Not to say that he's like he's a good guy or anything, but these don't line up with his initial goals, you know. And they made it a point that Shigaraki needs to be saved, and this is why. Like, his it's not his goals anymore. It's not his body. It's not his powers. Like, nothing about this is Shigaraki. Like, all of it screams All for One. So I'm excited to see what more they do with this. Maybe Bakugo kind of taps into something regarding Shigaraki. Like, maybe he can wake him up a little bit and buy them time by kind of appealing to Shigaraki. But I'm pretty sure that this isn't Shigaraki they're fighting. They're fighting like All for One, like a half-baked All for One. And once he really takes over, they're all kind of fucked. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That's all my thoughts.
Oh, my turn. I like this chapter a lot. And like Brian, Bakugo is also one of my favorite characters in this series. I just like, earlier on, I really enjoyed his growth and his arc, and I enjoyed him. I enjoyed watching him soften a little bit, you know, be a little kinder of a person, and this was like kind of a culmination on that. I feel like this chapter was very compressed. A lot of things were going on at once, which, you know, fair enough. There's a lot of things happening, you know, like they're really like up against the ropes here, fighting against all these growths. But for what we got, it's pretty solid. I love like the big artillery thing. It's very Bakugo. Just be like blitzing all these attacks everywhere. And I like that he's actually, I don't think that early Bakugo would have relied on the support of the support cast, of the support class people, you know, the support course. So another little bit of growth for Bakugo there. Yeah, I like what this chapter was serving. As far as like things going forward with My Hero Academia, I don't want to ever be like this series is over or it's not, because you know we don't know. I don't know. I don't know what he wants. I don't think we're gonna get much out of Momo, which is fine, I guess, because she's never been much of a fighter, really. She's always been kind of.
Remember that fight she had against Miss Big Hands?
Yeah, but that was like barely. That was almost barely a thing. You know, like that was her only fight. Otherwise, she's like kind of in the background making things for other people.
Support heroes aren't fighters first. Sure, they can fight, but like their main goal is to kind of make sure that they have the upper hand in other situations.
Yeah,
you know, like Nairuzu is a leader. She's not a fighter.
But
like,
she's literally
that's
just in the back making things. She's not even like.
Well, I think that's an important.
That's really important. That's really fucking important to the battle. Like, without her, the whole thing crumbles. And
Granny Chio was controlling a puppet. He was using Sakura as a puppet to fight, and Granny Chio was still putting in work.
Yeah, but like her powers are different.
She's a fighter. I know. Yeah,
her powers are different, and she was like a ninja. Like
it's like they're
ninja.
Explained away, like her and Kaminari and the rest. You know what I mean? Like they're just like, yep, this like they're here in this spot. Like we're putting them on first, second, and third base, and that's that.
I'm fine with that, I guess. You know, like I don't.
Yeah,
at the same time, I don't really want to force. like all these characters to fight if they don't have to, because then
I would force them.
because
Like at least they're there, you know.
I mean, like
at
you're
least
right,
they have-
Brian.
like,
At least
they have a
there.
use. They have a use. That's the
And
thing
look,
that's
we-
important is that you can use them.
look, there's
Yo,
no,
imagine thinking about this 5 years ago. At least towards the end, these characters like have a use.
Well, look at Naruto. Rock Lee fell off the face of the fucking universe.
Why do you think we violate it all the time, along with Bleach? You really want My Hero Academia to be in the same vein as those series?
No, it isn't because it's actually using characters.
It's not.
It's actually using
not.
characters,
As
so you can give it a
crazy
point
as
for
it's
that.
been. No, right. That's what I'm saying. Like as much as I've ridiculed it, it's not as bad as how those ended, especially Bleach in particular.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
at least they're playing to their character strengths. That's the good part about this.
yeah.
Is that Yaoyorozu is first things first, a leader and a
She's not
background.
leading a motherfucking thing, bro. She's leading some fucking tiles out of her chest. The fuck she leaded?
She definitely
I'm
led
angry,
a
bro.
lot.
I
She
want to
definitely-
see Yaoyorozu's Boobaroozos. All right, man.
Isn't she leading the effort down there with her fucking items and shit?
No, she's just there doing it. Cement Toss is the leader over there. And adults.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm
Realistic.
this series is what it is, and I'm not mad at it at all. I feel fine, because
Because you're unbiased.
yeah, I mean, I guess so, but I
Some
I would
say
rather
that
him
you're
not force.
unbiased.
Yes, I am unbiased, but I would also rather him not force things that he doesn't need to. And this battle could just like end with the whole facility crumbling because Shigaraki achieved his new form, blasting everyone away, and everybody has to come out and fight now. Like
It'd be cool.
there's a couple of different ways it can go, and I'm okay. Just like here, trying to figure out. We're here on Bakugo time now, so it's Bakugo development
Can't be
time.
mad about that.
Yeah, and I can't be mad about that.
With
Yeah,
Josh,
I guess like
but
I
yeah.
felt this. I mean, I really felt the shortness of this chapter. This is like a 14-page chapter, which it is what it is.
Was it?
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. There's only 13 pages.
I felt the shortness too, honestly.
But he gave us the howitzer, so that's at least worth 3 pages in of itself, right?
Well, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he is drawing his tits off. He's
Drawing his tits
he's
off.
got to be. This guy's got to be taking. All these chapters have to be taking longer than the average chapter, just because of the amount of detail there is in the art that he's putting out right now. So I would imagine that the shortened chapters are for that reason. Is that like he's kind of allocating all of his time to his art to try to portray this really well because there's a lot of detail in this. But yeah, I definitely felt the shortness of this, and I'm not gonna rehash that whole like I wish we had more time argument, but
I wish.
I wish we had more
I
time.
wish. That's that R. Kelly song.
But he's managing the way he did. The stuff with Endeavor was great, and I imagine that this isn't over with Bakugo. I'm sure we're gonna get a little bit more of an expounding in the next chapter. Just like we did with Endeavor, the introspection into his character didn't stop in that one chapter. We got another one where we dive deeper, and I think we're gonna get something similar here with Bakugo. So I'm not like stressed about it. I just wished it was a little longer, but you can't do anything about that. He's really like trying to. I think he's like really putting his back into his art right now, and for the amount of detail.
I want to make a prediction.
What?
In the next chapter, we're going to get another one-panel explanation of Bakugo learning this new move or talking to the people in support.
I would give it a page. It's like one page.
Okay, so I'm saying it's one panel. You say it's a page. What about you, Brian? You think he'll dedicate half a chapter?
Well, the
Because
howitzer.
that's what Horikoshi does. He takes his time to flesh out his ideas.
I say he's there. That's probably not going to happen at all.
I would say the same.
Well, look, I don't need him to really like. I don't need a scene with him interacting with the support
Yeah.
group. I get it. This is all like kind of stuff that works in context, being how Bakugo is like less of a fucking asshole these days, and he's like more open to help and less prideful. So I buy it. I'm fine with it. I don't need to see him being like,
I buy it.
Can you make me things? Because I need your help. I learned my lesson. And we can only do this together.
Help.
Yeah.
That's my art.
It's more than that. It's more it's about pride. It's about, humility, all that stuff. The stuff with support
that
class.
awful one never learned.
Yeah. But those are all my thoughts. TBH. I thought it was a solid chapter. Wished it was longer. I keep forgetting to put the solo cam on myself. I do it for you guys. I never do it for me. But
more Bakugo.
Yeah, more Bakugo. There I am. Solo cam for the good ones. This is a good camera. I need to show it off more. All right. Are you guys any rebuttals? Anything else you guys wanted to mention?
More Bakugo.
So happy for Kaminari.
He's powering the station, dude.
I know. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Brian, anything?
No.
All right.
I'm not going to feed into this.
That's good, Brian. You're learning.